And good morning from the office. It is Wednesday, September 6th, I believe. I know some of you guys got at me last time for getting the date wrong. I'm Richie Stone. I'm in for BKP today. He is on assignment. He's got this project up in Blue Ridge that I think is going to be pretty interesting to everybody. That's going to come later. As you know, some big changes here at FYNTV. We're up and running. Got some really exciting sports content. We did the Gilmer County show last night with Coach Casey Wingard. It's tough for those guys right now, but they're headed in the right direction. They got some real impressive underclassmen that are they're gonna build something there. They just got to get the system in. Lots going on news-wise. Here locally, the big story is the armed robbery up in Blue Ridge at the AT&T store. Sam, when did that happen? Was it Monday? Yeah, Monday. I think we have a picture of the suspects. Yeah, there it is. It's just crazy. Something you never expect, but then again, you never know. People passing through. I think the suspects were from out of state. I don't know if they were hurricane refugees or just passing through. Who knows? I'm sure it'll all come out eventually, but pretty wild. It's not every day we get a multi-county police chase over speeds in excess of 100 miles an hour with the police throwing down tire spikes and just like something out of Cops or Live PD. So we'll be following that. We have reporters on the ground that are going to be able to get the very latest. Remember, this is a story you will not hear anywhere else. So definitely stick with us for your local stories. We are the voice of rural America. Now, as far as nationally, though, and something that also affects us is this Hurricane Irma. We're just now getting over the effects of Hurricane Harvey over there in Texas. It's going to be really expensive, lots of money being spent, and this recovery is just. There's still water. People are still underwater over there in Texas, and now we have Irma coming, and there's some. Do we have a picture? I think maybe 57 or 60. Yeah, they're 60. That thing is massive. It's a Category 5 hurricane. There have only been 3 Category 5s that have ever made landfall in the United States as a Category 5. There have been several that were, like Katrina, Rita. I think even last year, I can't remember the name, but they were all Category 5s. But by the time they reached the United States, they'd been downgraded, but a full-on blown Category 5 has not made landfall since Hurricane Andrew in 1992, which was catastrophic. And that one, Irma right there, is about like Andrew. They're saying it's actually more powerful, and there's a path. Do we have the picture of the path? I don't know how far it has it going. I think it's number 57. Yeah, it looks like it's going right over Cuba up to the Florida Keys. And I saw one model. I don't know if you guys saw it back there in the control room. We got Sam and Rose, where it just goes right up the peninsula, up through, kind of splits the state of Georgia, which means that it would be headed right for us, which is kind of scary. I'm sure it'll be kind of like how our snowstorms are. Walmart and Ingles will be out of bread and milk because we all know that when bad weather strikes, there's nothing better than a milk sandwich. But you got to feel for those folks in Florida. And then also what the bigger impact's going to be as Congress is now coming back to work here in early September after the summer recess. They've got President Trump has, and congressional leadership are attaching Harvey relief to the debt ceiling and to the budget if we can get that passed. But now this is going to be a whole new can of worms because we don't know what. I mean, this could be worse than Harvey. I mean, the flooding may not be as bad because they're better prepared for it in Florida, but the destruction and the fact that it might go straight up Florida. I mean, that's all Florida is. One big long peninsula, obviously, and then what it could mean for Georgia, Tennessee, going forward up through the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley. Scary stuff, and the main thing is just to be prepared. But personally, I just hope it doesn't make it to South Bend, Indiana by Saturday night, or LJ, Georgia by Saturday night, because that would interrupt the television feed from Indiana to LJ, because the Georgia Bulldogs will be in South Bend in front of Touchdown Jesus. Freshman quarterback Jake Fromm will be starting, and it's going to be a big one. This is the first time I think ever that Georgia's played in Notre Dame, and I was reading, I want to say Chip Towers over at the AJC said that this is the toughest ticket in Georgia football history, which is saying something considering all the big games they've played in, bowl games, national championship, not national championship, but Sugar Bowl at least. For the national championship, tough tickets in New Orleans, but no, nothing more than this at Notre Dame. So that's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to that this weekend. But Irma might have other plans, so definitely stick with us. We will be updating it on our website, FetchYourNews.com, and here on FYNTV. The folks over at the National Weather Service, we got a line in with them, and the main thing is just to be prepared because you never really know what's going to happen. So back to news of the day. If you watched the news last night, you probably would have gotten the impression that Donald Trump is once again a white supremacist. That's right, folks, a white supremacist. We have elected a neo-Nazi. Now, of course, that isn't true, but these folks in the media are so out of touch that they're literally treating this DACA decision like, I don't know, like Hitler himself is reincarnated. I know that sounds a little extreme, but they're saying it, and we have people on Twitter who have the little blue check marks by their name, which means they're important, saying that the country has elected a fascist, and that this is nothing but pure race because there's a pattern: Charlottesville, Joe Arpaio, now DACA, and never mind the fact that Donald Trump wasn't in Charlottesville swinging clubs against people, and never mind the fact that Joe Arpaio wasn't really convicted of he was convicted of a procedural crime for not obeying an order. It's not like it's not like he's Laurie Pritchett in Albany, Georgia, when Dr. King was marching. So for them to then draw that line to DACA, which Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced yesterday will be ending. However, they left it open with a 6-month window for Congress to do something. And back to the line they're drawing, it's kind of what we're used to this by the media. They are the kings of creating their own stories and creating their own self-fulfilling prophecy and then turning it into a narrative. It's creative writing 101. And it's like they've drawn this imaginary line going back even to the election where the heroes and the villains, the protagonist and the antagonist are clear. Donald Trump is the antagonist. Democrats are the protagonist out there fighting the good fight, protesting, doing the thing that's morally right. We'll get more into that, but it's it's uh, it's so frustrating. We've got a lot of clips that are going to back this up. My man Don Lemon on CNN has become unhinged, to say the least. Also, we're going to get into Hillary Clinton, speaking of Democrats, has a new book out. I'm sure you've heard. It's called What Happened. It's basically her playing the blame game about the 2016 election. She's blamed everyone. Yeah, there's a picture. We'll show that again later, but I thought that was pretty hilarious. What happened? I happened. You can keep it up. She has blamed everyone from Macedonian hackers, whatever those people are, fake news, Putin, James Comey, of course Donald Trump's voters, Bernie Sanders voters. Bernie Sanders, that's who she went in on yesterday and made some news. Let's see, who else? The DNC, the media. Yeah, the media. She blamed the media for basically giving Trump favorable coverage. I mean, how laughable is that? So we're going to get into that. I find it astounding that she's the only person I know of that can come out with, I think, 5 books in the last, 15, 20 years. And it's like her biography changes each time to reflect which way the wind's blowing at that particular time. So that's that's always fun. And then finally, we're going to get into Russia, which we talked a little bit about yesterday. And this principle from a guy, Dinesh D'Souza, who is he did a movie called 2016 Obama's America. It's the second highest grossing documentary, I believe, or maybe it's political documentary of all time, only behind Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11. And I've got a clip that we're going to play to close out the show of D'Souza speaking to a caller on C-SPAN about this principle called transference, which is the idea that you accuse people of doing and acting the way that you yourself act. And it's very fascinating when you apply it to this whole Russia scandal, because as BKP said yesterday, there's a lot of evidence of Russian collusion, vote tampering, obstruction of justice, things that Donald Trump has been accused of, even though there's no evidence, and it's led to this whole opposition research investigation from Bob Mueller and his team of 12 Democrat lawyers. But when you think about the things that we know from the Democrats in not only the primary and then the stuff through WikiLeaks and what happened in the general election and the fact that Obama told Putin to knock it off and that was going to be enough because they never thought Hillary would lose, you have to start wondering if this whole principle of transference isn't something that we see right in front of our eyes and we just don't realize it. It's very interesting stuff, and I'm excited to get into that. But as for now, we're going to hit a quick break. We've got a little bit of technical difficulty here with my computer, so I'm going to get that fixed during the commercial. When we come back, we're going to get into this DACA stuff, Jeff Sessions making his announcement, and the media reaction. So stay with us.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Days Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, win.
And we're back. So let's jump into this. Can we go ahead and play? This is a clip from last night, CNN Tonight with Don Lemon. I've got 4 clips from him just to kind of set up and tee up what's going on. Actually, before we go to that, can we get the picture of Jeff Sessions up? His official picture. Number 62. There he is. That is our Attorney General, as many of you know. He's an interesting guy. He was in the Senate for a long time. A lot of folks remember it made headlines when he was nominated for Attorney General that he was denied a post or he was denied an appointment as a federal judge in Alabama because of a history of racism back in the 80s. And then later on, he went on to be elected senator from Alabama, where he really kind of faded into obscurity. Really only wonks that know the makeup of the Senate really even knew who he was. It's this tradition ever since post-civil rights America and American politics that Southern senators, especially Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, or maybe not as much South Carolina, but from the Deep South, they don't really take up major positions of leadership or positions out front because of the fact that they're a political liability, quite frankly. I mean, think in your mind right now, who's the senator from Mississippi? Name one of them. Or who are the 2 in Alabama off the top of your head? It's hard to do. And that's kind of what happened to Sessions. He was very outspoken, but didn't really make the news cycle very often unless it was some sort of gaffe or some way to use Republican words against them by the liberal media. But he was in the Senate a long time, and I think if anybody would have guessed 2 years ago that he would be the current Attorney General of the United States, you probably would have been laughed at, quite frankly. You would have been, you probably would have been called crazy. And, that's 2017, though. That's the political world we're living in post-Trump. So he is probably the most hardline person on immigration, has been for a long time. He went real hard against the Gang of Eight bill of Rubio and Lindsey Graham and other Democrats, and was one of the leading figures in getting that shut down a few years back. So enter Donald Trump. And remember back to the early days of the primary when nobody really knew what to expect of Trump. He came down, I remember like it was yesterday, he came down the escalator with Melania. Ivanka introduced him. It was midday. I had it on the news. I was working in my home office. And, I was expecting some sort of theater. So I turned around and watched it, and I was like, man, this is nuts what this guy's saying. It was the kind of political speak that you would never hear from anyone, right? Jeb Bush, Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, a lot of these folks had already announced. I remember Hannity had every single candidate on after they had announced, and it was really, shaping up to be a formidable primary between all these establishment-ish type folks. Back then, you would think of Ted Cruz is anti-establishment, Rand Paul is anti-establishment, whereas Jeb Bush was establishment. And then the Donald comes in, and he gave that first speech about, I think he said his exact quote was, Mexico's not sending their best. They're rapists, they're murderers. I assume some of them are good people. And then he went on from there. Well, that just, as soon as he said that, I thought to myself, well, this candidacy's over before it even begins. And I even agreed with what most pundits said, that this isn't for real. This is Donald Trump getting more name recognition. He's probably going to make money off of it. But then it kept going. And without rehashing the whole thing, we all know where we are now. But the reason I bring that up, and as it relates to Jeff Sessions, the turning point, I think, that gave Donald Trump legitimacy was a hot summer night in Mobile, Alabama, when Donald Trump went to give a rally at a football stadium. All the networks, the cable networks, brought it live, and I was shocked. The place was filled to capacity, 15,000, 20,000 people. And it was like, oh my goodness, this might actually happen. And that night, Jeff Sessions, can we get that other picture of him up? Jeff Sessions walked out and put that hat on and became the first major elected official to support Donald Trump. So literally overnight, Jeff Sessions was known to more people than he'd ever been known before. And it was quite the coming out party for Sessions. And a lot of people love to focus on the fact that his name is actually Jefferson Beauregard Sessions. He's named after Confederate President Jefferson Davis and General Pierre Gustave Toutant Beauregard from Louisiana, who actually, both these guys actually just had a couple statues removed. So their legacy and as far as statues are concerned are leaving us. But Mr. Sessions is the namesake of those two men, and he's now the Attorney General. So, who knows? It's a funny thing with history when you tear down statues, but then, this guy's a walking memorial to the Confederacy as far as his name is concerned. But to the point of his support for Trump and how Sessions became a household name overnight nationally, and it was all because of this immigration policy and the idea that we have a major problem. I don't think there's anyone denying that. But what do you do about it? And Trump, to his credit, tapped into that with very aggressively, and tapped into the whole notion that, he even said it, that they're stealing our jobs and they're taking away opportunity, not paying taxes. And although that's right to an extent, it's almost like, you can't get out of the hole that was dug, and all these people are here, and I mean, it's not like you're going to round up millions of kids, right? So Sessions was a hardliner just like Trump, and he was the first to endorse him, stuck with him throughout the election, served as a surrogate, and Donald Trump's a loyal guy, and he rewarded that loyalty by nominating Sessions as his Attorney General, and he was finally confirmed. So that kind of sets the stage here for yesterday's announcement about DACA, the deferred action for children, unaccompanied children, something like that. Deferred action for unaccompanied minors is essentially what it breaks down to. And it was an executive order that directed the Justice Department to practice what's called a prosecutorial discretion, kind of like what we have in Colorado, where marijuana is legal in the state of Colorado, but illegal federally. But the Justice Department has decided to practice prosecutorial discretion by just choosing not to prosecute those that are an offense. So when we come back, we'll play that CNN clip now that we've kind of set the stage over why Sessions was the chosen messenger of this. And the media knows it, but they won't come out and say it. But it's just interesting, the cat and mouse game that's going back and forth. So we'll be right back. We're at the bottom of the hour here. I'm your guest host today, Richie Stone. Stay with us here on FYNTV.
This summer, nothing says love like a box of truffles, especially if that box of truffles is in a blizzard.
This is all my favorite truffles. Fudge, caramel, and peanut butter. It's like a surprise in every bite. I bet you're full of surprises.
Actually, I'm full of chicken strips. Just had my break.
You're cute.
Still got it.
The new Triple Truffle Blizzard Treat with fudge, peanut butter, and caramel truffles.
Welcome to Dairy Queen.
Enjoy a $1 Misty Slush and more.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
And welcome back. It is Wednesday, September 6, 2017. God, I can't believe it's September already. Fall is upon us. We had Carla in yesterday from the Gilmer Chamber. She was here to talk about all of the fun stuff going on up here in North Georgia. This really is prime time for our part, our neck of the woods. Obviously those of us that live here know this, but it's kind of fun how in the summertime it's like the Great Depression ends and we start getting tourists and money and the economy picks up, and then by fall, by mid-September, it's just in overdrive before it all ends around Christmas time. But she was in here talking about all the apple houses, the U-Pick stuff going on. Be sure to check out their website at gilmerchamber.com, especially if you have friends and family that are coming up to visit. Lots of exciting stuff going on, fall festivals, corn mazes, the whole 9 yards. If you want to reach us, you can always call us at 706-889-9700. You can find us on social media at FYNTV, at FetchYourNews, and of course on Facebook by the same names. We also have I think we're updating our cards next week and our Chirons, but we also have a new page, Team FYN Sports. That's the new exclusive home for all of our sports programming. We got our 4 high school football coaches shows. We'll be coming at you from Circuit World in Blue Ridge tonight for Rebel wrap-up. The Fannin County Rebels, they had a tough loss last week, but it's always fun catching up with those guys, breaking down the previous game, looking ahead to the game ahead, and fine folks over at Circuit World are always great to us. Great place to shoot. Also, what were the other announcements? Oh yeah, BKP not with us today. He is in Blue Ridge working on a story. Pretty exciting stuff he's got going on, and really just an exciting time in general around here. Everybody's real thrilled. Like I said before, this Team FYN Sports has really taken off. We got a lot of content that we're going to be adding. Got some new folks to introduce you to. That will all be in the coming weeks. So back to the news, back to DACA. We talked last segment about Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and he was the chosen messenger yesterday to come and deliver the announcement that Donald Trump, or the Trump administration, will be ending the program known as DACA. And, it's probably not the craziest thing for the Attorney General to do. All the liberals are going nuts saying that it's not the role of the Attorney General. But the reason why he was the messenger is because there's a lawsuit against DACA, and DACA is very similar to another program called DAPA, where you just replace a C with a P, and it was a deferred action for parents of dreamers, as they're called. And the Supreme Court was tied. It was before Neil Gorsuch was seated, but they tied 4-4, so that the decision was kicked down to the lower court decision, which ruled it unconstitutional. So, considering it's essentially the same thing, except it's children instead of the parents, Sessions, I think rightfully assumed that probably was not going to hold up in court, especially now that that Gorsuch has been seated. So he knew. All right, so let me backtrack a little bit. There's a lawsuit moving through challenging DACA that the U.S. government, the administration, has to defend in court, the U.S. Solicitor General. And the Obama administration defended it and lost DAPA, and then it's been winding its way through on DACA. But now with the new administration, the new folks, Jeff Sessions, his team, are now the ones charged with defending it or arguing the case. Sorry, there's a party in the control room right now. I don't know what's going on. I hope it's not something I did. But why is everyone laughing at me? So, yeah, I thought it was like something on my face or something. Breaking the camera. But Sessions made the decision that they weren't going to defend this in court. They weren't going to argue it in court because, number one, obviously they don't believe in it. But number two, they knew it was a losing battle because DAPA is essentially the same thing. So when you think of it logically, they knew that this executive order from President Barack Obama would not hold up. So why waste taxpayers' dollars, the time in our courts that are already jammed up enough, arguing this case when you can just get Congress to do what they're supposed to do and pass a law to fix it? Because that's how this stuff works, right? So we're going to get into the clip. I know I've been teasing it far too long, so let's go ahead and cue that up. This is Don Lemon's reaction to the news yesterday. Do we have that?
Discuss CNN's Dana Bash, Manu Raju, and senior political analyst David Gergen. Good evening to all of you. Here we have the storm that's happening out in the Caribbean and then the one that's happening in Washington and throughout the country now. So, Dana, we're seeing protests all over this country to the president's decision to end DACA. The president left the announcement to his attorney general, Jeff Sessions, but later defended the decision when asked about it. Watch this.
I have a love for these people, and hopefully now Congress will be able to help them and do it properly. And I can tell you, in speaking to members of Congress, they want to be able to do something and do it right. And really, we have no choice. We have to be able to do something. And I think it's going to work out very well. And long term, it's going to be the right solution.
And so, Dana, he just tweeted tonight, Congress now has 6 months to legalize DACA, something the Obama administration was unable to do. If they can't, I will revisit the issue. He'll revisit the issue? What is he talking about? Is he wavering? Why doesn't he make a decision as a commander-in-chief instead of leaving it up to someone else or another body?
Well,
all right, cut it. What is he doing? Why is he leaving it up to someone else to do it? Well, Don, because that's what Congress is supposed to do. The president doesn't make the laws. I know we had 8 years of Obama, and it was really... it was awesome because you love the guy, but the president doesn't make law. The whole pin in the phone thing is not right. I mean, that's reason number 1058 that Trump won, because the way our government was being run, I mean, they were just blowing law and process in the wind. If you can't get Congress to do it, hey, why not be a dictator? And then the hyperbole machine, man. What did he say? There's a storm in the Caribbean and a storm in Washington. Yeah, because the people who are gonna have their houses leveled by a hurricane really consider this the same thing, right? I mean, it's just unreal how out of touch they are. And when you think about what Trump said in that clip. He didn't say, I'm a white supremacist, or I hate black and brown people, or I'm a dog whistle, or black people not welcome, colored people not welcome. And they want to, and we'll get to later what I mean by this, but all he said was, we're going to give it 6 months and we're going to let Congress do it because that's what's supposed to happen. That's who makes the laws. And, you know, forgive me if I'm wrong, but aren't these the same people like Don Lemon, that bashed Congress day in and day out during the Obama years? Why won't Congress act? Why aren't they supposed to do this? I mean, they were experts on civics back then when it was in their favor. But now that President Donald Trump does something that they don't like, Congress is all of a sudden, you know, irrelevant, right? Why push it off to Congress? Why, you know, what is he talking about, David Gergen? So, speaking of David Gergen, I think he is the second clip, 1140. Okay, we have the YouTube machine is frozen a little bit. I have his quote though, and we'll get to. I'll play the clip in a second. But Gergen and Don Lemon had a little conversation where Gergen says, "If you're not white," that the White House is essentially saying, "If you're not white, you're not welcome here." And Don Lemon says, "If you're not white, you're not welcome here also." So they agree. And it's like they're taking an issue that is about law. Okay, yeah, here it is.
Leave something to the Congress. Ever since the days of Franklin Roosevelt, they have proposed, sent a proposal to Congress to say, here are the principles, here's what I want to do. Have we heard one word from this guy in the last 24 hours about what he wants Congress to pass? How can any dreamer rely on, you know, such weak, you know, and I don't want to say coward, but such weak leadership.
Weak. Okay, that's fair enough. Mano, you've been sitting by very patiently there. I want to bring you in. Senators Lindsey Graham, Dick Durbin proposing.
All right, so that was the earlier clip, but just as important. Back to the Congress point, David Gergen saying that he hasn't heard one word of a plan that he wants Congress to pass. I don't know about you, but didn't Trump just say, I want them to fix this? I mean, every president since FDR has given Congress a directive or a direction on what they want, a very detailed order. And he's right. I mean, Gergen's right about that, but that's not a prerequisite. That's not mandatory. In fact, it kind of blurs the lines of separation of powers and what everyone is supposed to do in the first place. That's why I kind of like Trump and the fact that he's a bit inexperienced, because coming from the business end of things, he can return it to the way it was supposed to be, where Congress is the power center. Congress is the place that is most representative of the people, where you have the House of Representatives, which is proportional to our population by our states, and then the Senate, which is equal representation among every state, and they check each other, and they make the law. The House starts it. We've all seen Schoolhouse Rock, right? The House starts the bill, and it goes to the Senate for ratification, and that's how this happens. Then the president has his check on the Congress, because he can choose whether to sign the bill, veto the bill, or send it back. So the fact that someone so esteemed as a guy like Gergen, it just baffles me that a guy who was an advisor to Nixon, Reagan, and Clinton can't grasp the concept of how bills are passed and how the process works. Donald Trump does not have to send them a directive or a 15-point outline on what he wants them to do. The president is completely allowed to just say, hey, I'm delaying this. Ball's in your court. You make the call. And that's why he's a good politician. And they'll never give him credit for it, but it's kind of a masterstroke. And we're going to get more into it, but we're going to take a quick break. We're approaching the top of the hour. We're going to do one more segment here on the DACA stuff. Take us on out, Sam.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff. Broken Bull, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing, is locally owned and operated. Our Simply Noel selection is the largest around. We have a great selection of unique clothing and several lines to choose from for men and women. We carry a beautiful variety of handmade jewelry from Blessed Be and others. All kinds of gifts, starting to carry shoes this fall as well. Come visit us on your next trip to Blue Ridge. We can't wait to meet you at Broken Bull, located in downtown Blue Ridge. Papa's Pizza to Go in downtown Blue Ridge is the best in the area all-you-can-eat buffet. Call ahead or order online now at papaspizzatogo.com. Use our convenient pickup window for the best in pizza, subs, wings, breadsticks, salads, and more. And be sure to check out our lively game room. We serve lunch and dinner, catering available, take out or dine in. Papa's Pizza to Go in Blue Ridge, proud sponsors of the Fannin County Rebels. Be sure to check out New Blue Home and Gift, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Find us on Twitter at New Blue Home. Everything beautiful for your home or a special gift can be found at New Blue Home and Gift. Call us today at 706-455-3873 or visit us at 531 East Main Street, Suite 103 in downtown Blue Ridge. Kinty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Fine sterling silver, luxurious baby alpaca, and exotic woods. A beautiful selection of exquisitely crafted gifts for all of your special occasions. Visit our website, artesiansilvergifts.com, or follow us on Twitter at Artesian Silver Gifts. Kinty Artesian Silver and Gifts, the Peruvian shop in downtown Blue Ridge. The Tupelo Tea Mission is to provide over 80 premium tea blends for tea lovers who are looking for ways to explore new flavors and blends. Come visit Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge at Sycamore Crossing. Be sure to sample our various varieties of honey and tea. Visit us on the web at tupelotea.com or call us at 706-946-TEAS. That's TEAS. Tupelo Tea, located in beautiful downtown Blue Ridge.
Help us. Help us in the House. Help us in the Senate. I think you're a good man. Get involved personally. Work the phones. Try to find a consensus here.
Who knows what next month's topic du jour is going to be? Is it going to be Kim Jong-un? Is it going to be Irma, Harvey? What's it going to be? Let's move and do it now.
Yeah.
That's why we think it's important to make the DREAM Act the law of the land now.
They're saying be decisive.
That is a clip of Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois. He's a Democrat, and Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. He's, I guess, sometimes a Republican. No, he's a Republican, and they are reviving the bill that they had tried to get through in 2014-ish, late 2013, 2014, before the midterm elections, that was very unpopular and famously supported by Marco Rubio, who then had that come back on him during the 2016 primary race, but really kind of sunk his chances after the emergence of Donald Trump and his hardline policy and proposals on immigration. But, you know, Lindsey Graham, in the beginning of that clip, said it. You know, I think the president's a good man, and I like this move because Lindsey's been in the Senate for a long time. He's a political animal, as they say. And I tell you what, he's the kind of guy that is more than fine with the legislative branch taking on its more of its the role that it was intended to have. They're more than happy to be the folks that fix this. And I think the Senate, you know, especially with all these folks, and we'll get into the 2018 map a little later with these Democrats, but the Gang of Eight bill, as it was once called, and this is pretty much the same thing, I'm pretty sure. And there's also a bill from Senator David Perdue, who we interviewed a couple weeks ago here on FYNTV, along with Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, which is probably the best name in politics. They've got a more conservative bill, and it's going to be interesting to see the dueling action on that. I think the Graham-Durbin bill is more likely to get bipartisan support, especially from these red state Democrats. So we might see a scenario where, you know, we might get close to 70 votes, but where things are going to get interesting is over in Paul Ryan's House of Representatives. When I had the chance to meet South Carolina Representative Trey Gowdy, hear him speak several weeks ago, and one thing he said really stuck out to me. I think I might have even mentioned this before, that when they go to their House Republican conference and they're in their caucus, you have a table over here of moderates who, you know, they represent districts that Hillary Clinton won. You have the libertarians over here, as Representative Gowdy said, they just want to smoke dope. Then you have your hardline conservatives that are from districts that Donald Trump won 80-20, and they have to be super, super conservative or else they'll get primaried. They have just as good a chance as losing as the moderates do. And then you have your Chamber of Commerce types that are from the suburbs and you know, closer to the city, who represent a lot of business interests. So it's an eclectic mix, to say the least. And that's where the divide is within the Republican Party, and that's where the divide's going to be on this bill, especially if the Graham-Durbin bill comes through. But I would not be surprised to see compromise on the Durbin-Graham bill that features some Republicans and Democrats from the House that will give some sort of legal status to these dreamers, as everyone so often reminds us. I counted on that when I watched CNN Tonight with Don Lemon last night. The word dreamers was said like 38 times, and that was before the second hour. But that's beside the point. As far as getting this through, and why I think this is actually going to be a pretty big moment for President Trump, because, you know, he's taking all the flack now. They're just saying absurd, outlandish things about him being a racist and, you know, you're not welcome here, that kind of nonsense. But at the end of the day, this could be the serve, the opening serve. You know, think of it as tennis. This could be the opening serve in solving a problem that President Obama couldn't get done. And everyone knows that. Democrats, Republicans, Independents, Libertarians, everybody knows that this was a problem that couldn't get done, and that it was a bit of a cop-out to do this by executive order. So President Trump has put himself in a position where Democrats and part of the Republicans are going to be able to make a deal. And it's all going to come down to who wants to get together, who's going to get what they want out of it. But bottom line, the dreamers aren't going anywhere. I mean, let's just affirm that. So knowing that, Donald Trump has used the rhetoric, used the idea of building a wall to put himself way over here on the issue, the Sessions view, if you will, knowing that the middle ground is probably what's going to come, because everyone can go home, especially Democrats running for re-election, that they can know that they saved the dreamers. And the media will be very happy to tell you that, you know, Democrats will be the heroes here. But it's going to be bipartisan, and it's going to come down to the pen. and whether or not Donald Trump will sign it or send it back, because it won't be veto proof. And the Democrats will be in a position, because the media will tell us, hey, they saved the dreamers. Democrats will be in a position where they will have to fund the border wall, or Donald Trump will not sign it. We're at the top of the hour, which means it'll be the top of the news here. Sam, take us to break.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia: Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Days Chevrolet in Jasper is dropping the hammer. Over $11,000 off MSRP on new Silverados. Just look what we've done to the price on this new LT Crew Cab. Save over $11,000 and pay just $32,500. And Days Chevy is dropping the hammer in a big way on all new Chevy Malibus. Save over $6,500 and pay just $17,900. The savings are real and they're big at Days Chevrolet in Jasper.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there. Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them stay there. All I do is win, win.
This summer, nothing says love like a box of truffles, especially if that box of truffles is in a blizzard.
This is all my favorite truffles. Fudge, caramel, and peanut butter. It's like a surprise in every bite. I bet you're full of surprises.
Actually, I'm full of chicken strips. Just had my break.
You're cute.
Still got it.
The new Triple Truffle Blizzard Treat with fudge, peanut butter, and caramel truffles.
Welcome to Dairy Queen.
Enjoy a $1 Misty Slush and more.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment, All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Read this. This is from the former President Barack Obama. Slam. I mean, David, you know, counting your words, you said you didn't want to go as far as what I asked you about, but you did say weak. But here's what he said. He's talking about the decision. He called it cruel, but basically what he's insinuating. He says to target these young people is wrong because they have done nothing wrong. It is self-defeating because they want to start new businesses, staff our labs, serve in our military, and otherwise contribute to the country we love. And very specifically, he says, it is cruel. Let's be clear, the action taken today isn't required legally. It's a political decision and a moral question. Whatever concerns or complaints Americans may have about immigration in general, we shouldn't threaten the future of this group of young people who are here through no fault of their own, who pose no threat, who are not taking away anything from the rest of us. Very clear statement there. He doesn't call out President Trump by name, but certainly it's his most forceful post-presidency statement to date. I want to get your reactions first, Dana.
No question. I mean, and this is very strong feelings that President Obama obviously has because, as I said, he acted without Congress, even though for years he was saying publicly and privately he didn't think that that was constitutional, and yet he decided that actually.
With respect to the notion that I can just suspend deportations through executive order, that's just not the case because there are laws on the books that Congress has passed, and I know that everybody here at Bell is studying hard, so you know that we've got 3 branches of government. Congress passes the law. The executive branch's job is to enforce and implement those laws, and then the judiciary has to interpret the laws. There are enough laws on the books by Congress that are very clear in terms of how we have to enforce our immigration system, that for me to simply, through executive order, ignore those congressional mandates would not conform with my appropriate role as president.
I taught the Constitution for 10 years. I believe in the Constitution, and I will obey the Constitution of the United States. We're not going to use signing statements as a way of doing an end run around Congress. We're not going to use signing statements as a way of doing an end run around Congress. All right?
I've got a pen, and I've got a phone. And I can use that pen to sign executive orders and take executive actions and administrative actions that move the ball forward.
That's the good thing about being president. I can do whatever I want.
Is this how government is supposed to work? Only 23% saying yes, 74% saying no.
In the DREAM Act, which is exactly what you've talked about, where he passed a law by executive order that the Congress had rejected. That is unbelievably unconstitutional. He's done that over and over again on immigration,
climate change,
drug laws, climate change, and of course on Obamacare, which he has unilaterally altered lawlessly at least 15 times. And incidentally, the cynicism of Obama saying, I waited and waited. He was in control of the Congress the Democrats had majorities for 2 years, in 09 and 10. He could have proposed and passed any immigration reform he wanted. He didn't propose it. He waited. And now he says, I waited for Republicans. Where were you when you had control of the Congress? And you can't just say, I waited. You have to work with the Republicans, and you cannot simply issue decrees. We don't rule by decree in this country. I mean, Obama says he's a constitutional scholar. And the interesting part, as you showed earlier, is he knows that he shouldn't be doing this.
You know, I taught constitutional law for 10 years. I take the Constitution very seriously. That's what we're protecting. Don't mock the Constitution. Don't make fun of it. Don't suggest that it's un-American to abide by what the founding fathers set up. It's worked pretty well for over 200 years.
There are enough laws on the books by Congress that are very clear in terms of how we have to enforce our immigration system, that for me to simply, through executive order, ignore those congressional mandates would not conform with my appropriate role as president. I taught constitutional law for 10 years. I take the Constitution very seriously. The biggest problems that we're facing right now have to do with George Bush trying to bring more and more power into the executive branch and not go through Congress at all. And that's what I intend to reverse when I'm president of the United States of America.
When Congress offers you a bill, do you promise not to use presidential signage to get your way?
Yes. Let me just explain for those who are unfamiliar with this issue. We've got a government designed by the founders so that there'd be checks and balances. You don't want a president who's too powerful, or a Congress who's too powerful, or a courts who's too powerful. Everybody's got their own role. Congress's job is to pass legislation. The president can veto it or he can sign it. But what George Bush has been trying to do as part of his effort to accumulate more power in the presidency is he's been saying, well, I can basically change what Congress passed